Hey there guys, today we're taking a look at Days Gone running on the AMD Ryzen 5 5500U. Now this PlayStation exclusive that eventually actually ended up hitting the PC is currently running with the lowest in-game graphics settings at 1080p, but the render resolution scaling is actually set to 50%. So what we're actually running the game at is 540p. Now the game does not support anything like FSR, so we are just running this at pretty much just 540p with no upscaling whatsoever. And we have to do this to even get anywhere remotely close to a playable experience like this. Even 720p was struggling to get us a playable frame rate, and this is of course at the stock 15 watt TDP. So in general, you're going to be looking at a situation with the lowest in-game graphics settings of getting a 1% low of 31 with an FPS average of 42. So it's a pretty decent experience overall, especially for the stock 15 watt TDP, but visually speaking, you are sacrificing a lot. The lowest graphics settings do cause a really big impact on the visuals of everything. Everyone just can't seem to help but look like a potato character at these low graphics settings, so I'm not 100% sure how willing you would really be to play like this. Raising the TDP up to around 23 watts, whatever it is that the balance preset on the AMD APU tuning utility sets it for your specific system, which is usually around a 22 to 23 watt TDP target. The level of performance that we're getting out of this is pretty decent. We do actually get a pretty noticeable bump in terms of where we were at with just the stock 15 watt TDP. Our 1% lows go up to 36, and our FPS average by the end of this run ended up being at 49. So a really nice experience overall, though we are in a situation where the visuals are still extremely difficult to look at and they don't necessarily really improve much at all. You don't really have the headroom to start adjusting anything really. You can at most turn up textures, but outside of that, you're not really going to be able to do much of anything else. And then of course with the performance preset, which sets a target TDP of around 28 watts, we end up getting another bump in performance, though not a substantial one. Our 1% low is now at 38 and our FPS average ended up being 52. So none of the settings were really able to reach 60 FPS average, and our 1% lows never really broke past the 30s, though they were at a range where it was acceptable enough. In general though, I don't really think that the game itself is going to be that playable on here. In areas with a lot more enemies on the screen, the FPS can start to fluctuate pretty noticeably. It never really got to the point where I would consider it to be unplayable, but visually speaking, it just looks so bad that I really don't see a reason to play like this. I'm impressed in the overall result that we actually got out of this, but I realistically just would not find myself playing like this. If the visuals aren't a problem for you, at least you're going to be able to get some good performance, especially if you're on a system that actually lets you adjust the TDP. Now, the temperatures that I was reaching are at a range where I personally would not feel comfortable gaming at, but if you're in a cooler climate, or in general you don't really worry about this kind of thing and you just run your system at full power at all times, then you're going to get a really nice result like this. And realistically speaking, if this is your only way of ever playing the game, then you can at least get away with playing like this. But anyways, I hope you found this look at Days Gone on the AMD Ryzen 5 5500U to be interesting and useful. We are of course starting off in 2023. I don't really know how much longer I'm going to keep testing the 5500U, at least consistently, because I mean at this point guys, I'm kind of running out of games. You know, if there's any games that you would want me to take a look at, obviously always comment them down below, but I mean at this point I'm struggling to figure out what more to really test on here, and I would like to actually start testing out some different hardware and doing some comparison stuff. So if you would like to help support on this, channel memberships are enabled, so if you'd like to just contribute a couple bucks a month, it would really help me actually get more hardware in here and actually do some comparisons, especially since AMD at CES is looking like it's going to finally reveal its full lineup of mobile systems, and I would really like to get my hands on some more budget laptops to do a comparison with. So if you would like to help support on that, please become a channel member. I would greatly appreciate it. I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.